Yo, 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 what's up, everybody? It is Cody, Gotham's Caped Crusader, and we're keeping it geekly this week. This is your number one stop for all things comic books, video games, and so much more from the geek culture. And man, oh man, am I excited, because not only do we have some heavy-hitting news for you, but we also have some fresh pulls straight out the oven, because as you know, today is New Comic Book Day. So leave a comment down below letting me know what issues you guys are looking forward to most reading this week. I do really want to give a big shout out to all of the people behind me and just supporting me throughout this movement and transition and just propelling this podcast to new heights. So without further hesitation, let's dive right into that geekly news. So this first one for you guys is going to be a nice one. It's going to be a 2-in-1, and it is going to be a doozy. Not only are we looking at a potential Knights of the Old Republic remake, yeah, reportedly in development, but hold your shorts for this one too. We are potentially looking at a new animated adaptation of the Old Republic starring none other than Keanu Reeves as King Valor. What? Now, this first one is going to be the one that I lean towards being most likely to happen. Ever since with its launch in 2003, the Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic has undeniably seen levels of popularity that game developers could only strive to hit. Now, with the rumor mill just spinning and spinning and spinning that Keanu Reeves is going to be joining the ranks as King Sith Lord in the Star Wars universe, it's only natural there's going to be a lot of eyes on the Old Republic. So it looks like industry insider Jason Schreiner has confirmed a Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic remake is actually in development. Now, it looks like his discussion with MinMax's Ben Hansen shed some light on some stuff within the remake, but we really didn't get a whole lot out of him besides the studio that is going to be behind making it, which is Asprey Media, which is prominently known for porting and remastering older titles and bringing them onto new platforms. Now, this game studio is also responsible for bringing us a lot of the Star Wars ports, as well as Knights of the Old Republic for the mobile ports. And I think this gives us a perfect segue for Keanu Reeves. Now, this game spawned Darth Revan, which everybody and their mother has been praying that Keanu Reeves would get the role for. But in other news, it looks like he's actually maybe potentially casted as Lord Sith. Now, take this one with a grain of salt. This is one I am kind of skeptical about. I could see a Disney Plus show getting, created out of this and with potential for Keanu Reeves voice acting it, and then that spawning a movie. But I don't think we're getting a full-fledged movie right off the rip. And as you can see, it looks like Keanu Reeves is going to be casted as King Valor, which is the rumor. Take it with a grain of salt once again. And this is going to be a Sith King who was prominent 3,000 years before the Phantom Menace. This is going to be in a time and period where Jedis weren't really into politics, and they're going to have a greater, stronger presence within the galaxy as well. Now, as I stated, I could see this being a Disney Plus show, which right here you could see introduced in a live action style animated TV series that would debut Disney Plus sometime in 2023. We know Keanu Reeves is busy with John Wick 4 and 5, so he has a lot on his plate. Now, do I think we're going to be getting a Knights of the Old Republic remake or remastered? Yes, I do believe that is in the works. Do I think we're going to see Keanu Reeves in the Star Wars universe? Debatable. I think we have a more higher shot at seeing a Disney Plus series and then a movie, other than, vice versa. Something that I do know for sure that has happened is Sony officially announcing the directors for the new Into the Spider-Verse #2. It looks like April 19th, Sony Pictures Animation officially announced the directing team. And forgive me for these pronunciations. We have Joachim dos Santos, Kemp Powers, and Justin K. Thompson. And we also get a little bit of a breakdown for what these directors are most commonly known for. So it looks like Dos Santos has worked on Justice League Unlimited, Avatar: The Last Airbender, The Legend of Korra, and Voltron: Legendary Defender. We have Kemp Powers breaking onto the mainstream stage as well. His play One Night in Miami was a critical sensation, and then he's also the co-director for Soul, which was a phenomenal movie. I love that movie. It helped Pixar win another Best Picture nomination on top of that. Then we have Justin K. Thompson, who's most prominently known for his work including Buzz Lightyear of the Star Command of Star Wars, The Clone Wars, and he was also a production designer for the previous Into the Spider-Verse. As of right now, Into the Spider-Verse 2 is slated for an October 7th, 2022 release, And man, I'm excited for it. I thought the first one was phenomenal. I thought the way they played on the frame, the frame rates of the animations was just phenomenal and genius. Another genius move, though, is Sony kind of just finally admitted that it made a huge up, and it's doing a lot of backpedaling. Yes, the voice of the people were finally heard, and Sony is in some hot water. So the digital stores, not only for the PlayStation 3, but the Vita, are going to remain open for the foreseeable future. Now, I remember seeing tons of game developers just in uproar, and rightfully so, because Sony out of nowhere just dropped this bomb, and a lot of them had projects in production, and that stuff is usually out of pocket and not funded. These guys usually don't get paid until they sell the game, from my understanding, and leave a comment down below if I'm wrong on that. I might be wrong, but I just remember seeing a lot of heat on Sony, and it's nice to see Sony finally take notice and take a step back. Now, the PSP store will be shutting down on July 2nd, 2021, as originally planned. Now, it looks like we have a direct quote from Sony Interactive Entertainment President and CEO Jim Ryan. Upon further reflection, however, it's clear that we made the wrong decision here. So today, I'm happy to say that we will be keeping the PlayStation Store operational for the PS3 and PS Vita devices. PSP commerce functionality will retire on July 2nd, 2021. As planned. So, unfortunately, sour news for PSP fans across the world, but PS3, and PS Vita, good news is afloat, as your guys' digital storefronts will remain intact. Now, with Microsoft and Sony pretty much in direct competition, and Microsoft retaining a big chunk of compatibility with its backlog, it doesn't make much sense as to why Sony would want to make a move of this magnitude and just push away its users and its consumer base. Like, why would you just want to slap, your users that are still playing the PS3 and the PS Vita and even the PSP still? It just really doesn't make sense when there's still money to be made. Now, with that being said, guys, that does wrap up this Week in Geek. But stay tuned. We do have those fresh polls coming straight out the oven. The first book I'm bringing you this week is, man, such an awesome issue. This is going to be Nightwing issue number 79, written by Tom Taylor with art being done by Bruno Redondo. Love brings everything home, and we see this as Dick Grayson sums up his past, from hanging out with his parents at the circus to being fired by Bruce Wayne to even being loved and cherished by Alfred, all summed up in one panel with Barbara coddling this three-legged puppy until it falls asleep. And once it's knocked out cold, it's time for these two to go on a date. Yes, Dick Grayson is finally getting out and about, and it is so hilarious. You see the interaction with these two at this pizza place, and Dick is ordering 2 slices of pizza, and Barbara's pretty much like, yo, you're a millionaire. What are you doing? Then he's like, yeah, I'll have 4. We follow the two to this park, and over the next several pages, some really rather intense and heavy dialogue starts to develop between the two. We see Dick paint this really vivid picture of Batman and wondering if he could have done more as Bruce Wayne. If Batman was more capable of helping Gotham more as a man without a mask, as a man, as the millionaire, just willing to fund and help those around him, instead of become a vigilante with a mask and a cape and go around beating on criminals. Has it really done anything? Has it really changed anything? We see a homeless man and his son interrupt the two, asking for cash, which Barbara is really quick to respond that they don't carry cash on them. But then Dick interjects saying, hey, gather your friends, whoever's hungry, let me feed you guys. And he takes them back to that same pizza place. I thought that was a really awesome and touching moment to see Dick just step up to the plate and help the community. And I think this issue really focuses on what he's capable of doing for the community of Bloodhaven. He even goes as far as to book a month's worth of staying and lodging at Bloodhaven's 3-star motel, which I thought was a really awesome touch too, to keep them off the streets. We see another really interesting panel, though, where Dick actually gets pickpocketed during all of this, and he's pretty quick to say, hey, don't put this in the group chat. I don't want anyone to know. But it was too late because Barbara already did, and Batgirl was already like hamming on him, dude. It was hilarious to see that Dick Grayson, of all people, got pickpocketed when he was just trying to do a little bit of charity. Now, the laughs do stop as the father and the son, they're confronted by someone in the alleyway, and he tells his boy to run away, far away, and then the homeless man he has his heart ripped out of his chest. Yeah, it's gruesome and it's gory, and there's really no pulling punches with that at all. Now, of course, I have to leave you guys on a cliffhanger because this issue is a must read. It starts out with Dick Grayson never having a safety net in life to then becoming the safety net of Bloodhaven. And I thought that was a really, really awesome story, a really awesome read. And this gives me another perfect segue to another book that I really just thoroughly enjoyed, which is Justice League issue number 60. This has 2 writers and 2 artists. So this was written by Ram V and Brian Michael Bendis, with art being done by, and excuse me for the pronunciation, Zermanico and David Marquez. This issue begins with Black Adam and Naomi meeting on pretty much the exact wrong foot in Port Owego, Oregon. As Naomi begins powering up, she urges her friends just to get out of Dodge, to run as far as they can. And before she could even launch an attack, we see Black Adam get swooped up by none other than Superman, and he takes him far up into the air. I was pretty excited. I thought we were about to see a huge showdown between the two before we realized Black Adam and Superman are here for the same exact reason. Brutus's energy was traced to this exact same location, and only Superman and Black Adam are probably going to be the only 2 likely heroes able to withstand the next oncoming attack. Everyone else is going to get slaughtered. One thing's for sure though, Black Adam's kind of showing a different side, and before we could even ponder deeper into that, Naomi dives into the scene to interrupt the two, and then we are taken back to the Hall of Justice. Now we see the 3 meet up with none other than Green Arrow, Black Canary, Batman, The Flash, Aquaman, and as well as Hawkgirl. And we see this nice little breakdown of Naomi and who she is exactly. She comes from a completely different planet that was destroyed by people pretty much like her with similar powers. And everyone there keeps questioning, they keep freaking out, wondering if this is Brutus, but it's not. It's a completely different evil entity named Zumbado, who Naomi not only successfully defeated and sent back away from this planet that she's at right now, but he promised to come back. He promised to come back with a sworn vengeance and to take care of her. And not only that, but to take everything from this new planet. That's when everyone notices Black Adam in the corner, and man, oh man, people do not miss a beat when they start freaking out. But Superman's quick to say he's changed, and that's when Batman's pretty much says, "Clark, can I have a word?" We then see the Justice League conjuring and talking to Superman about how Black Adam's changed. Superman is pretty defiant that he's a brand new character, that he's responded to over a dozen emergencies, and Black Adam's been there saving the day. And he actually shows acts of being a true hero when no one's even looking. He does it with true integrity. And that's when everybody in the Justice League is quick to rush in and interject, saying how they do not agree. But Superman says they need to lead by example. You know, they need to teach with this opportunity. And that's when Oliver pretty much says no one changes. But then Black Canary is quick to jump on Superman's side when Superman says, yes, you have. Canary agrees and backs him up. So we just see this just general acceptance of getting the Black Adam onto the Justice League. Who would have ever thought in 1,000 years this would happen? It's crazy. During this meeting, we see Naomi reaching up. Black Canary is pretty sure that she's reaching up because she needs to use the restroom, but Batman knows better. Brutus is on the way and he's coming. Now, this was another heavy-hitting issue that kind of took me by surprise, and I think with Black Adam on the roster with Superman, the Justice League is going to be an unstoppable force, but is it going to be enough for Brutus? Now, the rest of this issue gave us a really interesting perspective on the Queen of the Amazons and her fight with Brutus as well. I highly recommend this issue, and this gives us our last and final read of the week, which is going to be Infinite Frontier Secret Files issue number 1, written by Brandon Thomas, with art being done by Valentine D. Landro. We begin this issue in the Department of Extra Normal Operation in Director Bones' office. Now, this is a really interesting sight. It's a skeleton sitting there smoking this big old stogie, sifting through various cassette tapes. And we see him pick up this one in particular. This was another funny scene. We see him just pretty much say, why does Earth always have every one of these guys? And come to find out, it's a Superman character. This one is Calvin Ellis in particular from Earth 23. Most Supermen share the traditional backstory, but what separates this one from the pack is he's president of the United States. So we're kind of just thrown into his day at the office. There seems to be an alien armada on the scene heading towards Earth, And in typical Superman fashions, he's ready to rise up to the occasion, but they don't want Superman to have to intervene this time. And it kind of leaves a lot of speculation between his cabinet, on what happens if Superman dies. What happens? What do they do? We see Kava walk off and pretty soon rip that shirt open to reveal the classic S symbol that we're all used to. And about 12 minutes later, we see him on the scene fighting this huge robot monster. It was pretty comical to see him go through his schedule with Kauker and kind of just breeze through the day. It was a really interesting read to go through Superman's day-to-day activities as not only Superman, but President of the United States. At the end of this, we get a little teaser that we're going to be diving into Roy Harper next. And that reminds me, going back to the very first panel, we've seen Alan Scott's name in the stack of cassette tapes as well. One thing to bear in mind, this issue is going to be only digital first, with potential to come to paperback books here shortly. This was a very short one. It was about 15 pages, so it kind of left a lot in the air for the potential of the series from this point going forward. This might be a book I continue to pick up, but out of the three, I would say this one was kind of lackluster. Now, Geeks and Geekettes, that does wrap up our podcast for this week. I really appreciate everyone that took the time to tune in and watch this video. If you enjoy this type of content, feel free to hit subscribe if you're watching it via YouTube, or like and share if you're on Facebook. With that being said, guys, you can follow me on those respective social media platforms at Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, and so much more at Job for Cody. And as always, keep it geekly.